speaker. Okay, so thank you for coming out today to support public education in North Carolina. My name is Amanda Klein. I'm a professor in the English department, and I've been here for 6.5 years. During that time, I've come to fall in love with the state of North Carolina and with its students. And I care deeply, and I care deeply about the quality of the education I provide to my students. I believe strongly in the value of a humanities education, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So what are the humanities? The humanities are academic disciplines that attempt to understand and interpret the human experience and which foster an understanding of contemporary society as well as the past. The humanities include literature, classics, ancient and modern languages, history, philosophy, media studies, the fine and performing arts, political science, philosophy, anthropology, and other related subjects. The humanities, simply put, help us to understand what it means to be a human being. Why are these academic disciplines so fundamental to every college student's education? I'm just going to list a few of the benefits. There are so many, but I'm just going to list a few. 1, by understanding cultures that are different from our own, we develop empathy, morality, and an understanding of the need for social justice and universal equality. That should get cheered. 2, the humanities teach us the critical reading skills we need to unpack the messages, written and visual, that we encounter on a daily basis. The humanities help us to consider more than one side to every story, that the world is not black and white, but rather a complex, imperfect place that requires nuance and education to navigate. The humanities teach us to be critical thinkers and to think for ourselves. No cheers for that? 3, the humanities teach us how to write and speak effectively. Instead of being passive spectators in our world, the humanities gives us the tools to engage with the world around us, to not only think critically, but also to express the way we feel. The humanities help generate social change. Yes. 4, the humanities are essential to a democratic society. Yes. And 5, we are often told that those who do not read history are doomed to repeat it, but they are cutting history. We would exist in a historical vacuum and we'd learn nothing from our past. So, could the world function without the humanities? Sure, it could, but it would be a world that refuses to engage with the arts. It would suck, yes. With our languages, with experiences of individuals who are not like us. A world without the humanities is a world without beauty or empathy or understanding. It's a world filled with people unable to see beyond their own backyards. That's a world of isolation, and that's not a world I want to live in, and that's not a world I want my students to live in. But lately, the humanities have been coming under fire, especially in North Carolina. We are being told that cuts need to be made, and that all the skills I just listed, we are being told, and I will not name who's telling us this, but we were told. We are told that these skills that we're teaching in our public universities are not what businesses want out of college graduates. We are being told that humanities programs like gender studies or history or African American studies are not programs that create viable workers and therefore should not be funded by North Carolina taxpayer dollars. We are being told that humanities programs create elitists who are unable to make anything useful or do anything useful. Now listen, if that were true, I would say defund the humanities, but it's not true, okay? Now don't take my word for it. I am just an elitist professor. Let me give you some facts, okay? 1, in 2012, there was a survey of 652 American CEOs and heads of product engineering. They found that 60% of them had degrees in humanities. That's right, 60%. More than half of those heads of industry majored in a humanities field. 2, a similar study conducted in the UK showed that 34% of their CEOs had studied the arts, humanities, or social sciences, while only 31% had a science or tech background. Number 3, Over 2/3 of humanities and social sciences graduates enter the private sector, particularly finance and business. 4, there is almost no difference in employment rates between humanities graduates and graduates in other fields. And then finally, this is the most important point. When employers are surveyed and asked what skills they want from their employees, 89% want effective oral and written communication. That's humanities. 81% want critical thinking and analytical reasoning. Now say it with me. That's humanities. Okay? 75% want employees who can analyze and solve complex problems.
That's humanities.
And 75% want employees who can connect their choices to ethical decisions.
That's humanities.
Okay, but did you know that these are the programs that are in the majority of programs being systematically devalued and in many cases eliminated in the UNC system? Administrators in the UNC system are being told to cut what are being termed low productive majors. Low productive majors are programs that don't graduate at least 20 majors in 2 years. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Elizabeth City State University is a 2,300 student historically black college in northeastern North Carolina. They may have to cut 7 undergraduate degree programs because of state funding declines and enrollment shortfalls. Now listen to some of the programs that are on the chopping block. Physics, history, political science. James Grossman, who is the executive director of the American Historical Association, said this about Elizabeth City. Quote, institutions often, when they face budgetary difficulty, think about programs to cut. I think in this case especially it seems troubling and tragic. Elizabeth City State University is a historically black university. It has the word historically in its name, which tells you part of its identity has to do with its sense of itself in historical context. We're talking about a university whose primary mission has been the education of African American Southerners, and to say those students and to their parents and to the community that history is not important is deeply tragic, end quote. And I agree with that. Now let me just wrap it up by giving you just so you don't think, oh, well, it can't happen here. It's coming here, because I'm going to tell you other programs that are now on the list of potentially being defunded. Now the key word is that it hasn't happened yet. That's why we're here. We're being proactive and not reactive. Right? Appalachian State. These are the programs that are considered low productive. Biology, chemistry, theater arts, physics, and geology. ECU, women's studies and music therapy. Fayetteville State, secondary education for literature, math, and biology. North Carolina A&T, child development, early education and family studies, romance languages, and applied mathematics. North Carolina Central University, elementary education and middle grades education. UNC Chapel Hill, Russian and East European studies, Slavic languages and literatures, public health and nursing. UNC Charlotte, art education, dance education, music education, and at UNC Pembroke, American Studies. So listen, if you're here right now, it's because you understand the importance of quality public education and because you recognize that education in this state is being undervalued, undermined, and underappreciated. Yes, we're in the middle of a recession, and yes, that means we all have to do more with less. But let's not make the teachers in this state keep doing more with less. We need to do more with more. So please fill out a form, tell us what your teacher did for you, and please stay involved, talk to people, tell them what you learned today, okay? Don't let education be devalued in this state.